Hey everyone, welcome to the Compass Town Hall. On my screen we appear a little pixelated and granular. Hopefully you're not granular and pixelated for you. Normally I'm not this fuzzy. I shave, and although my wife has a nice soft glow. Nice. This is your first town hall and you're not familiar, my name's Eric. Sadie, we're your fearless leaders.
I see my sleeve is messed up. Oh well, it is what it is. Just don't look, guys. Don't look at my sleeve that's a little messed up.
I don't think anybody can see it past the fuzz. It's a fuzzy messed up sleeve. You could have just kind of got rid of the fuzzy. So anyway, all right. Excuse me.
Hey, are you guys starting to have a little bit of sunshine back where you live? We are seeing a bluish sky today.
We actually saw stars last night.
Oh yeah, it was so nice. We went out to it. There's a winery near us.
Actually, wineries in Reading.
Well, it's actually in Red Bluff.
In Cottonwood.
No, Cottonwood.
It's in Cottonwood, which is like even crazier.
So we went out to the Sticks to a winery last night. And
a lot of nice people in Cottonwood, and they have a very small winery and a good cab. We had a good cab.
Yeah, and we looked up and we saw stars, and I was like, I am so happy to see stars.
Yep. So we're gonna keep praying for California.
We need one more thing to happen.
Right, exactly. So anyway, I have very strong opinions about the fires. I'm going to keep them to myself.
You guys are welcome.
Because you do not tune into this to hear Eric rant about bad leadership. So I'm going to keep my opinions to myself, and I'm going to we're going to talk about Compass today in our little town hall. So, thanks for joining us. We started doing this. For those of you who don't know why we started doing this, we started doing this back in.
Why are you guys here? Why are you doing this?
Why are you making me plug and watch this thing? At least you're not watching bad movies on Netflix, so that's a plus. We started doing this back in April. Was April the first one? June? May, June. Well, way long ago. Back when the coronavirus was.
Maybe before June, Mary.
It is May.
Maybe May. Maybe May.
No, because we talked about May Day before May Day happened.
We did.
April.
Mary, it was April.
My producer. Okay, I gotta let you know. So I listened to a radio talk show guy who does a podcast, and one of his favorite bits is to bag on his producers. If I had a producer, I'd have good bumper music. At least 4 or 5 times an hour, he bags on his producer. You're welcome, Mary. Anyway, no, we appreciate Mary. We really do. Oh my god. Okay, I get totally not on topic, but I gotta say this. So
I'm not sure you had a topic at the beginning of this.
Rude. So we Sadie and I have, since we've been doing this town hall thing, we found out a lot of people do town halls. I will not name names because I want to protect the guilty, but wow, I am grateful for Mary. I really am, for our producer, because I listen to the get out of your kitchen, people. Is that a rat climbing up a telephone pole behind you? I just saw. People get this. This get a producer. These are like actually big companies that have budgets that are like triple hours, so they can afford 5 hours of a producer or training an employee to be amazing at it, or whatever. But so you're welcome, viewers, and thank you, Mary. She's over here to my right. And I'm trying to remember to look up. See, the camera is up here, right here. But it's so funny.
You're in rare form. All right, that's our welcome. That's our welcome.
So we do this because we.
Oh yeah, you were actually saying something. Go ahead.
But I kept getting rudely interrupted and distracted. Squirrel. So we do this because since we can't be physically together anymore. Well, temporarily. Hopefully, this is still just a seasonal thing. It is. I'm convinced. We want to be in communication with you. We want to connect with you as best we can, and give you some information and some stories and some fun and answer some questions. Because if we were a person, we could do that too. So we do these once a month. And how many people do we have in attendance right now, Mary?
Looks like close to 62.
62. So we seem to have found our groove in the 60 to 70 attendee range when we first started doing this. We did it as a kind of like, hey, here's what's going on with coronavirus and Compass, and we were doing it every other week, I think. And
yeah, it was every other week.
and we were having a lot more people join. But I think as things have kind of settled down into this rhythm, people are feeling more peace, and that was our hope. We just wanted to do this originally to hopefully bring a little added peace to folks, and now we do it because we have fun, and we love you all, we miss you all, and we just pretend you're with us in this virtual box, although all I see is your names. Although I do see Dylan's picture of him and Jen. That's kind of fun. Anyway, all right. Well, hey, so we got a faux show for you today. It's a good show. Just kidding. All right. So
5 minutes.
I thought good news started first.
Nope, you're 5 minutes ago.
5 minutes of COVID. 5-ish minutes. 5 Eric minutes. All right. So hey, couple of things I want to share with you about it. First of all, there really is good news on the coronavirus front. Across the country, it's all but about 10 states are seeing declining rates of infection, declining hospitalizations. Every state, every county has open ICU beds. So the whole point of the shelter in place is to prevent rapid infection spread and then have hospitals fill up. We've really done a good job in the United States of preventing that. Again, remind everybody, never has somebody lost their life from coronavirus because they couldn't get medical care. Couldn't get a hospital bed, couldn't get an ICU bed, couldn't get a ventilator. No, that's not been, the lack of medical supply has not been a problem here in the States, where it has been a problem in many other countries, even other developed countries. So we've done a really good job as a country about that. In California, we're really declining. That's why stuff's starting to open up. I mean, I think I even heard that Santa Clara County, they can go and get haircuts finally.
I think so. That's what I heard. Yeah.
You don't have to just be a politician to get a good haircut in the Bay Area.
Oh my gosh,
that was low hanging fruit. Even Jimmy Kimmel would make that joke. So it was so nice to talk to Amanda, our RN down there. I think she actually went out and got a haircut, did she? Or she was going to? I don't know. Anyway, if you're in Santa Clara, you can get a haircut that's not done by a Floby and your mom in the kitchen. So that's good news. That stuff's opening up like that.
You're going to be hard to keep up with today. I can already tell.
Don't even try.
I won't.
Just let me go.
I'm going to totally be the straight man that doesn't talk very much.
There you go. Whatever works for you. As my glass says, that Melanie gave us a couple goals right there. So anyway, all right. So, but again, infections throughout California and in every single county where Compass is present, or even or where we're affiliated with, infection rates and hospitalization rates are going down. It's really, really good news. Compass stats, right now, there are 0 known infections of all people at Compass, staff and clients. And that's not the first time this has happened, but we've had some infections and they've always been scary to have.
Kind of rough couple months, so it's happy to hear we're back
to 0. Current total infections that we've ever had at Compass, roughly about 2% of our population, that's staff and clients together, approximately 2%. And total hospitalizations has been 1 person, just one. That's 0.08% of our community. That was one client, an elderly lady, who kind of scared us, but she had some frail health issues. But she was discharged and she recovered. In 2 hospitalizations? Oh, yes. That wasn't about cool.
Yes. Anyway, okay. It's been 2. And it's just, I'm sorry, I had to correct you, but yes, okay. It's been 2
people. That's 0.04% then of our community. So it's still really low, but 0 deaths. And so we're just really thankful for that. We just felt really covered and protected at Compass. And I want to say thank you again to all of you staff and clients who are managing your safety and practicing good hand wash and hygiene, and keep yourselves clean. And for those of you staff who don't like wearing masks but do it anyway, thank you. And for those of you clients who don't like wearing staff masks, but you need to, please do, and thank you to those who do. So I want to talk a little bit about some real numbers, though, because I want to put some skin to this in terms of where we are as a county, as a state at Compass. These are county numbers. I've compiled them off of county websites, and honestly, the Los Angeles Times is a great aggregator of data. These are the active rates. I've used that data and done my spreadsheet math to kind of give us a context of what the infections are like in all of the counties where we either serve or have significant folks who are present. You can see that there's not a single county where more than 1/4 of 1% of the population has an active infection. I mean, Siskiyou County, basically, there's nobody there who's active. You have to be in a room with 4,372 people to be in the room at the same time with one person who's contagious. That would include the asymptomatic, non-testing folks that the CDC estimates that we should kind of bump up that number by. So Shasta County, Tehama, Siskiyou, even Placer County, they're better than 1,000 people or more than 1,000 people you have to be present with. It gets lower when you get into Sacramento, which is really interesting.
Yeah, Sacramento.
And there's a number.
K-State, Sacramento.
That's right. But these are numbers based on these are like right off the presses today's numbers. But even in Contra Costa County, 800 people, only 1 out of 800 people would have an active infection, including about 40% of those who are asymptomatic. So that's still the likelihood of you bumping into somebody at the grocery store who's contagious is small. Not zero, but small. So wear your mask, wash your hands. But I tell you all these things because what I'm more concerned about is the fear. I'm more concerned about the fear people have and the fear your clients have about being alive and being in the community. In fact, I'm really doing this because when you're talking to people about jobs and about Compass, because we have a lot of hiring needs, and when you're trying to help us recruit, and you're trying to promote Compass, you're promoting a really safe place to work in an environment that is already not as risky as a lot of media would have. So remember, most of our clients, they're shelter at home by nature. So that's getting a little old for a lot of them, but still, it's not our clients that are spreading the infection. It's when other folks come into our community who aren't taking care of themselves out of the community. So we really are dealing with a statistically speaking, a safer place than a lot of the folks in the media, especially on social media, would have you think. So those are just some raw numbers. Those are facts. Make of them what you will. If in Sacramento, if 1 out of 367 people being contagious is still too much for you to feel safe, I understand that. I respect that. But those are the facts. So just want to share that with you. A couple more points I want to make. There are some really cool things happening on the scientific front. There are right now 9 vaccines that are in the final stage where they're testing it on anywhere from 15 to 50,000 people. And if you heard about that one that happened in England where somebody died or got sick and really sick, I think he died, they shut it down. They started right back up after a couple of days because they determined that his cause of death had nothing to do with the vaccine. And so that's really good news. So and the U.S. government is already ramping up distribution of vaccines even before the FDA has approved them, so that when the approval does come through, they'll be readily available for first responders, for medical professionals, and for those who are significantly immunocompromised. So that vaccine there will be a vaccine coming here in a short period of time. I study this sort of stuff, and I see what?
No, you know what?
Okay. I see estimates ranging from 3 to 9 months rationally about a vaccine being widely distributable. And most of the stuff that I'm reading suggests that the vaccine will be at least 70% effective. In other words, 7 out of 10 people will develop immunity from the usually 2 shots they have to get the vaccine. So that's really good news. I want to encourage people to try not to read the politics about it. It's a bummer that this is becoming a political issue. I mean, whatever you think about Joe Biden or Trump, I don't think coronavirus health and safety I don't think your politics should lead you to believe one thing or the other about the vaccine. Don't believe what you want about the vaccine, but please don't make it a political issue. That's not going to help us as we try to do the right thing about this. Full disclosure, we actually don't agree.
That's why I was smiling. We don't agree. We've had long talks on walks, probably loud talks on walks.
Say what you want to say, honey.
No, we just
No, make your point, because I'm going to make mine too.
Well, I don't actually want to make my point. Because I don't want this to turn into a debate. There's no reason for it.
Okay.
We have lots of other things to talk about today. This actually more than 5 minutes. So I'm just going to say we disagree. I am not as excited about the opportunity to get a vaccine as Eric is.
That's true. I'm quite excited. I'll take it twice.
That is just where we're at right now. So, I mean, we do understand that there are a lot of different opinions, and they're even in our own household. So we had a dinner conversation. Our family does this a lot. Like we sit down and debate topics for fun. And
With our teenagers.
And Trin and Eric are both definitely on one side. Rye and I, who are a little more cautious, are on a different side. And Elle's like kind of doesn't care.
She's like, whatever I can do to go back to school and have it be normal.
Yeah, but Trin and Eric have some points, and then Rye and I have other points. But we, even as a family, are weighing all the options, discussing it, because there's a lot to discuss.
Oh yeah, I understand
but it shouldn't be fear mongering.
Yes.
It shouldn't be political. You know, there's nothing going in your vaccines or like.
Oh my gosh,
let's not turn it into like there's a devil in it every corner. But there are differences of opinion and different levels of comfort with science and safety.
Absolutely, and I understand people's concern about injecting anything in the body. And that's not an insane thing to do. It's wise to be thoughtful and cautious about what you do that. So I totally get that.
I'm just so you wanted to play the fight of the day game a while ago. So our fight of the day was, he said, I didn't know there were so many stupid Republicans, and I was like, what? And because I am the stupid one. So then the entire walk I kept going, so the stupid one things, and
I was like, okay, so I'm gonna start. I know the tinfoil hat brigade is on the way.
So we ended up with I'm a little bit worried about our walk, because we do the same walk with the same people, and I'm pretty sure like we're gonna have like a marriage counselor that comes alongside of us on our walks, because we are not quiet when we have a difference of opinion. And so, yeah, probably the word stupid got said like 17 times as we walked.
I never called her stupid. I never, ever. How could I?
You didn't call me stupid. You just said people that think like me are stupid.
What I said was a recent survey came out that said 83% of Democrats were willing to take a vaccine voluntarily, not required by law, but voluntarily, and only 47% of Republicans were willing to voluntarily take it because of suspicion about whatever. And I said, I didn't know that the Republicans were the stupid party. And that was just a pithy comment,
Yeah, pithy.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Gotta move on.
But I want to say two more things.
Okay.
First of all, but there is some really cool stuff happening in science that is just so cool.
All right, but your 5 minutes has been 15 minutes.
Because we veered from where I was going to go. So anyway, bottom line is, I'll say this: it is really cool seeing what's happening when the entire world is focused on the same problem. There's some really, just 3 days ago, University of Pittsburgh discovered something that could be a game changer. Science is showing that the virus is not really mutating much, which makes the vaccine more likely to be effective, like the flu. So science is really being powerful. So I think it's pretty exciting stuff. But I do have one request, management team, and if any of you staff are listening to, if you read stuff on Facebook, if you read stuff about it, conspiracy theory stuff, please don't talk about it with our clients. They got enough to think about. They got enough concerns. We don't need to, spout off some Russian fake news propaganda.
Okay, it doesn't even matter though if you want to believe whatever you want to believe.
Yeah.
We're not judging your belief system. Please don't sound like that.
Well, okay.
Oh, no, don't sound like that. Don't sound like that. That's not okay. This is what we had the entire fight about. It's a judgment to call people stupid.
Okay. Okay.
So let's not judge people.
But there is but on social media, there's a lot of conspiracy theories floating around out there.
Regardless of where they get their facts, if that is how they believe, it is okay to believe however you believe.
Actually,
however,
please don't discuss that stuff with our clients.
That's not okay to discuss with our clients.
Exactly. These are not topics that are appropriate for the workplace in general, but specifically not with clients who might have some cognitive delay or be easily scared. So just mind your P's and Q's about that sort of stuff, and let's remember to keep our love on when we're dealing with each other.
Yep. All right. My sections that will go quicker. All right, we're gonna do a new section. And this is just going to be an opportunity for me to reach out to different clients. We have really enjoyed the interaction with clients, and especially since I'm not able to get to the different areas right now, we thought we'd take a minute for me to just have a minute with, so we're calling it coffee, but we're not really. I only have water, Kathy. But I thought Kathy could come on. We have actually a client that's been with us over 15 years in the Bay Area. Now she's coming on. She's an artist, and she recently. Oh yeah.
Your shirt was made. There you go. That's kind of like the artwork that she made.
So hi, Kathy.
Put my mask down so I'm not muted.
Yeah, go ahead. Take the mask off. I appreciate that you had it on, though. How you doing?
I'm doing wonderfully.
Good. It's so good to see you.
Good to see you guys too.
It's been way too long. So I know you asked the question, and yes, we got the plate. So thank you so much. That was very thoughtful. Is that one of the art projects you've been doing while staying at home?
Yeah, my most recent was my portrait, which is on the other side of the apartment, but I did my own portrait.
Super cool. So Kathy's discovered art. She's been doing art for a long time. I actually even went to one of her shows at a coffee shop. That was a long time ago. You remember that?
Yeah.
Yep. So she's been doing art a long time, and every now and then she sends a piece just to share it. So I thought I'd spend a minute saying hi to her. Can I tell a story about you?
Sure.
I promise it's a good story, a happy story.
All right.
So Kathy's been with us a long time, and she was at our very first ever community retreat. And it was her first time leaving Concord in a really, really long time. And we had lots of mishaps. I won't tell the whole story, it's too long. But we had lots of mishaps, but she was full of grace and patience and bravery. And when she finally, because it was it was a lot of bad things that happened. And when she rolled in to the dining hall, there was a standing ovation. Do you remember that? One of my favorite memories. I have so many favorite memories, but that is one of that's in my top. We'll go with 20 because I have a lot of good memories. Retreats.
I'm glad you shared that one, Sadie, because I was going to ask if I could share a memory. It was almost the same one. Hi, Kathy. It's good to see you.
Yeah, I remember. Because
So
couldn't get on the grounds and couldn't get between the dining hall and the cabins because it was all muddy and rainy.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
That was one of the many mishaps.
Exactly.
We learned a lot from that retreat.
Yeah, we learned a ton. And you know, and I don't know if I ever told you this, Kathy, but I felt terrible. I felt so guilty. I felt like we did not do a good job serving you and helping you get where you needed to get. And I felt personally terrible. But you gave me a gift.
I met lots of loving men while I was at that retreat.
You did. You did.
Guys hauled me back and forth between my bed and my chair.
Exactly. It was a community that supported you, and I'm so glad you felt that. But so it was a 3-day event, and on the third day we had a little church service, and I led the church service, and so I said to everybody that was there, I said, hey, would anybody like to offer any good news, something to thankful to God about? And Kathy's arm right up, right fast. And I kind of took a breath because I remembered how hard it had been for you to get there. And I was a little nervous. But you said, I want to say thank you to God because this has been the best experience being here. And I cried. It blessed my heart so much having you say that because I felt terrible. And the fact that you still could show joy and gratitude even in the face of a kind of a trying weekend, was just a testament to who you are and your character. And I've told that story many, many times about it's one of the moments when God gave me a gift, and it was you and your attitude. So I just want to say thank you for that.
Well, thank you for your comments.
Yeah, well, we look forward to seeing you again in person soon, Kathy. And thanks for being an artist. Keep being one. And
novice, but artist.
I'm sorry, what?
Novice artist.
I've heard that there's no such thing. If you have art inside of you, you're an artist. Period. No novice, no expert. Just an artist. Exactly. All right. Well, take care.
And thank you for the gift. And we love you, Kathy. It's good seeing you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Kathy.
That's fun.
You know I love that. Okay. All right. So Kathy, it was so good to see you. Gosh, I get all emotional when I see people that I haven't seen in a while. I'm mushy. Okay. So moving on to just good news. First of all, I guess I'm grateful. You see my fall shirt. Summer's over. I think it was a little bit of a rough summer for us. It was, fires, the heat, and so it falls here. And I love the change of seasons. It gives us an opportunity to remember that there's always changing seasons. So I feel like that's good news. We are excited that restaurants are opening up. We always brag. Sorry, here in Shasta County, we actually even get to eat inside. But you have to understand, in Redding, California, like eating outside is kind of like eating in purgatory, or
it's like eating lunch in front of a blast furnace.
So
who wants to eat their sandwich with a hairdryer blowing on in your face? That's what it feels like.
So it's good to be able to go inside in Redding, California. When they set out all the tables outside, I was like, who is going to do that? Who is going to eat a salad outside? It'll wilt like before you finish.
It'll wilt from the delivery from the kitchen to your table. Oh, good. I'm having multi-spinach.
Okay.
Not that I would have a salad anyway. Although the heat's good for the hamburger. The hamburger stays warm.
That's true. And that's why I didn't say pizza, because like it actually would keep the cheese.
I know, right? The cheese and steak. Actually, I hadn't ever thought about that. All restaurants should eat outdoors in the summertime.
All right. But I have kind of a strange but beautiful other good news that I just wanted to share. You can go ahead and put up the pic. So we lost actually a few clients here, especially in our Redding area. We lost Jimbo recently, and we lost Val, and these are two of our first clients. We'll talk about Jimbo. He hasn't had his memorial service yet, so when he has his, we'll make sure we talk about him as well. But we did have Val's. This was my idea to put the slide on here. No, I can do it. So we lost Val, not to COVID, just she was a hard fighter, and she decided she wanted to go.
It's just the way of things.
But I was at her memorial yesterday, and I do say this as good news because I just want to encourage everyone that keeps doing what we do every day. I got to talk, and it was good to hear, it was good to hear me talk. Jen talked. It was really good to hear her, but my favorite was when some of her staff talked, and just the reality, the realness of living day in and day out with our clients. And Val is right here, obviously a cutie patootie, but she had lots of fire and lots of vim and vigor. And so to hear,
she's feisty.
Dee was talking about just some of their battles of will and spirit, and just we had quite a few stories. It was really, honestly, a beautiful day, a hard day, a sad day, lots of tears, but a beautiful day remembering why we do what we do and what a difference we can make, because Val's life, she is 100% a testimony of what one individual with a lot to offer the world, paired with supported living, can do. Because when I first met her, to who she was and and all the people that loved her, was just really a beautiful thing to witness yesterday. Hard, like I said, I actually stole Eric's box of Kleenex, had my own private personal box of Kleenex. I know I didn't return it.
I was about to reach the hand one, but my box is missing. So that's it.
Anyway, but it was a phenomenal reminder, and the team here in Redding, I want to say, you guys did a phenomenal job. The pictures, the slideshow.
It was a lovely memorial service. I love the sorry game.
Yeah.
The mementos scattered around the room. And,
yeah, it's really good.
So we're gonna miss Val. She was one of the Compass original 11.
Yep.
One of the first, when Compass opened its doors back in 1996, it opened its doors, and I was getting services on minute one, and so that's kind of, it's sad for us, but she lived a wonderful life with us and owned her own home. Mm-hmm. It's such a wonderful testimony. Her life and her story is such a wonderful testimony. I agree with you, and how I'm that
like SLS doesn't get credit, but you know what I mean? Like she gets credit,
She deserves credit.
but SLS gets some credit because coming alongside of her is what made it a possible, available reality for her.
Absolutely. But still, it's a good reminder, because sometimes you talk to people who don't understand people with disabilities. They don't understand what we do. They go, why do you do all that? That's why. Because it's what they're capable of. They're people just like you and me. They're capable of tremendous things and accomplishments, and they deserve to have the chance.
Yeah.
Honor to be allowed to be a part of it. So, wish you Val.
She was my first assessment of my whole career. All right.
Okay, so we do have some updates. We'll try to be brief on this boring news stuff. Virtual all hands, first of all. So at the end of this month, September, just a handful of days away, is when the gates will open. Make sure all your staff participate. Did a really good job in the month of May and June when we did that. Same thing will happen in September. So that's going to be coming pretty quick. Any questions at all? Talk to your leadership, but we want to make sure every single staff does participate.
All right, so we have a pastor that's been helping us out, Denny, and he was unfortunately unable, from a personal emergency, unable to do our last one. So I actually did it, and it was phenomenal. It's non-denominational. It's just very, but it is faith-based. So if that's something of interest to you, that's happening September 22nd. There was an email that went out. Go looking for it. To register, so we kind of have an idea of how many people to expect.
Staff, clients, families, anybody's welcome to attend.
It was really fun, and it was really a great mix. We had a number of clients, we had a number of staff, and we had some admin too. It was a really good group of people.
When you got off the call, you were bouncing.
I know. I stepped up to help out, but I actually got a lot out of it, so I do recommend it.
Absolutely, very cool. DSNs, we are going electronic, full speed ahead with Compass. Thank you, East Bay, for being our pilot crew or practice child number 1. Really good feedback. We've made a couple of very minor modifications to it, but they've been very minor. So training materials are deployed, displayed. We have video. We have a long video training. We have a nice little handout, but we will be going full speed, full company ahead with QSP, QS mobile-based DSNs. Effective October 1.
Yeah. In our all hands, Jen, our director of operations, actually is going to give some context. Why we do these things, how they're important, and set you guys up for some training. So.
Absolutely. So we're super excited about it. Really feel like one more way that we're going to be effective and excellent and efficient, and we won't have to move physical paper around as much anymore. In the coronavirus world, that's a good thing. So really excited about that one.
All right. We have Andy as our new training manager. Andy. So he has begun his training, and we're actually doing it in phases. So he spent a lot of time learning about the Life Guide position, the Life Guide 1 to Pro position, and he spent time with clients in the field and kind of just to get a broad understanding of what we do. And he went to every region. And I want to let you know that he's going to now be talking to CFs, he's going to, and supervisors. And then in the end, his last phase is going to be ILS, talking to LCs, ILSMs, and of course, the standard supervisor. So his training period is throughout the end of this year. And I just wanted to give you that information because you may see him around, and he's a intellectual man with his degrees, and so he asks lots of questions. That's what people who want to learn more do. They ask lots of questions. So if you meet him and he's asking you lots of questions, do not be alarmed. Do not think that this is some subversive plot. It's really his opportunity to really get a very full understanding of our team and what we do, and how we feel trained now, and how we think we will be trained, need to be trained in the future. There's a survey coming out in short order, so you can kind of answer some questions about our current training and then some future trainings. So please be looking for that, and please just it's going to take you about 6.5 minutes, probably 4.5 minutes to do it. So please do that survey, get us those results, because it's going to really inform what we start working on next year in our training programs.
Yeah, we're really, really excited. Glad to have Andy. He's a good guy too. Really easy to talk to. Yeah, he loves meeting folks. So if you do bump into him, make sure you take a moment and say hi. Town hall dates. This is not our last one. We're coming back at you 3 more times this year. So typically they are on the 3rd Thursday of the month, but that won't be the case every month for the rest of the year. Can't do that in October, but in November and in December, those are the 3rd Thursdays as rule of thumb. So have that on your calendar. And again, we more the merrier. I think we can on this technology, we have up to like 200 people. You have 200 people on the call, so we got room to spare. So again, we love having clients and families join. So definitely pass the word around. The more connectivity we have, the better.
Yeah. All right.
Speaking of connectivity.
Yeah. So with Christmas Palooza coming up, we've made mention of this before. We had our May Day, which was a precursor, a test run of what will be Christmas Palooza. There'll be prizes and fun stuff coming your way. We've been working really hard on it. We're already at work on it. So be looking forward to that. It's our goal this year that every single person is touched during the holiday season in one way or another. So this is both for staff and clients. We're doing some fun stuff. So be looking for information. It's going to be individualized to the case facilitator or ILSM. So your ILSM, your case facilitator, has been making their own plan and will have their own little thing. So if your neighbor does one thing, okay, so that's what we're doing. It may not be what you're doing. You may be doing something different because it's based on your case facilitator or your ILSM.
All right. Lastly, you guys might not be aware of this, but there's an election happening in less than 2 months. I'm sure you haven't heard much about it at all. November 3rd is vote day. Really want to encourage everybody to get out and vote. California is doing mail order voting, not mail order brides. No, vote by mail. We've pretty much done it for a long time. You can always do absentee balloting. But really want to encourage you, if you're a citizen of the United States and you are not registered, do your duty. Register and vote. Get educated. Do your homework. If your clients are non-conserved and they want to vote, encourage or if they don't know that they can vote, they absolutely have a voice and their voice should be heard. Encourage them to
be
vote.
Their own voice, whatever their voice is.
Exactly. So let's really encourage our folks to participate in the election and encourage each other to do so. But however, I want to encourage you guys to not campaign at the work site. You'll notice that we do not have voter registration drives supported by the Democrat or the Republican Party. If we want to have voter registration cards, we can do that, but we do not encourage people to vote one way or the other at Compass. And so managers and staff, please do not do that with your clients. And and if you have opinions, that's cool. But the work site is not the place to promote your particular political opinion. On a break, and coworkers want to have a debate, go for it, as long as it's kind and keep your honor on. But we want to make sure that people don't feel like they have to have a certain opinion to be safe at Compass. Super important that we keep our honor on the whole time. We're allowed to have disagreements, but we want to keep our honor on and not make people feel threatened at all if they disagree. So make sure you do that. But get out and vote. You don't vote, you have no right to complain.
All right. So you're going to start hearing more and more about this word Renaissance. We're on Ren 2, is what we're calling it. For those of you who maybe are brand new to this conversation, we've done a vlog on what Ren 1 was.
Please go back and watch it.
And then we've done an admin. We did an admin video, so the admin team should also have a little bit more information. So and the reason we want to just start having this conversation is because there will likely be some decent changes coming in the next probably 5 to 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 months.
It's going to hit the new year, but it'll roll out over time.
Yeah, this isn't all going to happen at once, but it is going to happen, and it's going to happen over time. And one of the things that one of the little tidbits I want to give, we've been doing this a while, 25-ish, almost 25 years.
25th year, we're in the middle of our 25th year.
Yep. So next year we get to celebrate our 25th anniversary.
25th anniversary will be next summer.
And one of the things we've learned is sometimes it's not about how hard you're working. It's about that you're not working with the right tools. If you take a noodle and you want to, pound in a nail, it doesn't matter how hard you're going to keep doing that. You're going to do it day and night. You're probably not going to get that nail down. It's not until you apply new tools and you apply a hammer that you go, wow, that nail just went down in one whack. So one of the things we learned over time, we had one experience where we were doing IHSS one way and in-home supportive services, if for those of you who may not be aware of that acronym. In-home supportive services, we were doing it one way, and we were struggling to get a C on that
We were
assignment.
trying to, in our attempt to help our clients utilize that generic resource, we were kind of failing.
And so we went back to the drawing board and we found new tools and applied new tools. And in applying new tools, found that we now are in the 97%.
We're getting an A.
Yeah, we're getting an A. So it was not working harder, it was working smarter and working with better tools. And so REN 2 is really going to be us backing away from how we do scheduling, how we do a lot of different things in the field as well as throughout our organization, and saying, are there better tools to apply? Are there things we could do differently that might yield better results? So it's not that we don't have an awesome team working hard to get the right recruits and get the right hires and get the right staff in the homes, but do we have it all put together in a way that really works?
I think about Kathy, I think about Val, excuse me, and we just showed you a picture of that lovely woman who had been with us for 24 years, and SLS has changed since she started with us, and we have to continue to change our systems because the circumstances of California have changed. And for us to stay viable long-term and to continue to provide the excellent service in SLS, the Renaissance 2 will be specifically about SLS. For us to stay viable long-term, we've got to continue.
There may be some implications to ILS.
There may be, yeah, that's true. That's true. Mostly SLS, a little bit ILS, to be honest. But for us to stay a leader for a long-term and continue to help folks have a life they want to have, we got to keep getting smarter. We already work hard. We're good folks. Every one of you on this team, we appreciate you. We know you work hard, but we are continuing to endeavor to work smarter. And that's what this is about.
All right. Hey, Mary, do we have a lot of questions that have come up?
Not yet.
Okay, good. Well, if you have a question, please get it in.
Bounce in the chat box.
But it looks like we have quite a few questions this time. So we're only going to have a chance to answer 2 or 3 from the chat as we go through questions that were previously asked. So Jessica just says she loves us and we love you back. Jessica, you're just such a fun and smart woman, and we appreciate having you on our team. Conchetta from the far north asked about, do I have any ideas for homemade games or crafts to keep busy? I'm sorry, Conchetta, I'm terrible at that stuff. We did give each and every one of our CFs and ILSMs a budget of $100 for coming up with some creative crafts, stuff like that. But I would say, of course, be a Pinterester or be something other than Sadie, because Sadie is not crafty in the least. But we did give some money to help have our CFs come up with some things that could keep our clients get a little bit more activity going in their lives.
She'll probably hate me for saying this, but Conchetta, if you reach out to Melanie, she might have a good suggestion.
Oh, Melanie would have awesome suggestions. She's doing tons of stuff.
I say she might hate me saying that because Melanie's inbox might get filled up now. But Melanie is super creative. She's super clever.
She's our regional manager in our Sacramento, sister organization Options.
Right. Exactly. So she might be a good resource for you in that regard. But yeah, great question.
So Conchetta also asked, what happened to the engagement team? The engagement team went into hibernation due to COVID. We actually had an event planned. We had to cancel it. It went into hibernation, but it's going to come back. It's going to come back slightly differently. We've been working on some ways to improve it with adding some finance component, actually. So we have kind of an advisory council engagement team coming to a office near you in 2021. Soon. Yes, re-engaging soon. Tiffany asked us to talk about politics and make sure that they don't get talked about.
More or less did that, but I will emphasize it again to say, yeah, please don't scare your clients. Please, staff and managers, if you find out that your staff are talking with clients and saying scary things, if they're, I don't even want to. There's a lot of silliness out there, and I'm sorry, I will call it silly. But it's more important to us is it just doesn't bring peace into the client's home. If the clients want to talk, ask questions, then it's a great thing for the staff to do some exploration, do some research. That's cool, but be kind and try not to bring anxiety into our clients' lives about this.
All right, Michelle, you had multiple questions. So some of them we've already answered, so we're not answering them if we've already answered them, because I know you know the answers. But there were some new ones that I want to make sure we talk about. First of all, will Compass go to Disneyland next year? I think I've actually answered the specific question, and I know I've answered it in the grocery store. I was at Trader Joe's, and a client recognized me, and I was in Target, and a client recognized me. And their first question so far, I have not seen a client in the community that their first question is not, are we doing a community retreat? And the second question is specifically, are we going to Disneyland? So those two, I want to answer those two questions. We will be having retreats next year. We've been working on a plan. I can't go into it yet, but we will in one of the next town halls. I promised Eric that I would keep myself in check, because I'm very excited about our plans for next year and our retreats. So there will be retreats next year. God is my witness. There will be retreats next year.
When the cake is baked, though, we're going to bring it out of the oven.
Yep.
It's still batter in the bowl right now.
But I can't answer the question. It will not be Disneyland. I'm sorry to say, next year we're not quite ready for Disneyland because it's just not perfectly safe.
We're up to our oldest daughter. We'd be going to Disneyland tomorrow.
Oh my gosh.
Camping out in front until it opens. But
all right. Another question was any deaf or hard-hearing clients in San Jose or any other regions? Yes. We have some hard of hearing and deaf clients in many of our regions. I know for one it's Siskiyou, and we have one in Sacramento. We have actually pretty much almost everywhere. I'm not positive about San Jose specifically, but I do know we have individuals that are deaf and hard of hearing throughout our organization.
Another question that we were asked, and this is just kind of fun stuff, is how many clients does Compass have all together of all the regional centers, all regional offices that we serve? Excuse me. Right now, and this includes our sister agency in Sacramento, 547 people get served by Compass. A lot of folks. That's 226 in SLS and 321 in ILS. So that's a pretty cool client community. That's awesome to be part of something that big.
620 staff.
And it takes 620 people to take care of them. And that's understaffed. We have roughly 70 job openings.
So it's probably around 70 job openings.
We could easily have 700 people working for us. But of that 620, that's 535 of those are life guides or life coaches. So it is a very diverse and large community. Basically 1,200 folks. Pretty cool. Pretty cool to be a part of a club that big.
Yeah. So Greg.
Yes.
Greg.
Our last question here.
On this page, yeah. Greg asked, when will you get to meet us in the San Jose office? Greg, I promised you I'll be there before the end of the year. I'm going to keep that promise, but I don't know when yet. But I'm sure Amanda and Christine and the team will let you know when I'm going to be there. And he has a friend that is a client at Compass and wants to come over to Compass. What does he need to do? Needs to talk to a service coordinator, and the referral needs to come from the regional center. And then we assess if we have room or if it's a good fit, and then start an assessment. So it's a process, as you probably remember, but it does start with the regional center and asking for a referral from the regional center.
But thanks for thinking of us.
Yeah.
I'm glad you like us so much that you want to bring your buddies.
And I can't tell you what the retreat will be yet, Greg, but I promise it's coming to a town hall near you. Cody asked a question, excellent question about update on possible resources for mother with children that are distance learning. Yes, we have actually put together a committee. We did the survey. Thank you for filling out the survey. If you did the survey, we met as an executive team. We distilled the list down to about 4 or 5 things on that from the survey that we believe that we could do something about. And we have a little committee. I'm on the committee. Val, our HR person's on the committee, and Mary, our creative guru, is on the committee. And the 3 of us are going to be meeting, I believe it's next week. And we're then going to present an idea to the executive team on Friday. So we hope for some creative ideas to be coming out in the next probably 2 to 3 weeks. But we did get the survey, get the results, talk to the exec team, come up with a plan, and then came up with a list, and then we have a plan in the works. So I don't have like a perfect answer, but I do have a we've been working on it, I promise answer.
It's a real need. It's a real
Yeah.
it's a real challenge for a lot of stay-at-home folks, or a lot of folks that have especially young children. Last question we got pre-submitted was from Stan in the South Bay. And Stan, I liked your question. Clever. He actually offered a suggestion, and I'm just going to read it. He said, is it possible to create a link for QSP which would give or send to a potential hire, as opposed to dishing out those cute little referral business-looking card things? Because those things can be difficult to carry around. You might not have it all times. Great idea. Kind of embarrassed that we didn't think of it, to be honest, Stan. So extra bonus points for you. But not sure we can do that with QSP per se, but we should apply some technology. This is 1996 called It Wants Its Business Card Back. And we should come up with a way to help folks get connected. Honestly, I was driving past a McDonald's and they have a sign out that says, "Want a job? Text to this number." And I thought to myself, okay, we can do that. So we
won't be putting signs outside of our office or anything,
yeah, certainly not to apply at McDonald's outside of our office. But we were talking, so Mary and I were just talking about this a little bit ago, and we're gonna see what we can do technologically to make it easier for you to refer folks that you like. But in the meantime, please keep using those referral cards. Please, please, please. We love referrals. We love paying referral bonuses to you, because if you like your folks, we're probably going to like your folks. And if you think they can do what you do, it's going to really help. It'll help them get connected. It'll help them learn. And we really, really need more and more people.
I'm going to put Mary in the spot. Mary, do you remember how much we spent this, recently? You knew I was going to do it. It was like
1 million. No, not that.
It was like 1,500
in a month.
Oh, in a month?
Yeah.
Yeah, easy.
Yeah, we're spending around 1,500. I feel like it was equivalent to some of our actual budgets, maybe put them all together. Anyway, it's around 1,500, maybe it's up to 2,000 now. We're spending a month on referral bonuses. So it's real money going out of our organization to make sure that if you send us referrals, we are giving you credit.
Absolutely. It's a cool program. You get money now, and you get money later on if they're still with us.
Yeah, if you can make sure that they're really great from the start and they stay.
But if we can apply technology to help it be easier for you, we want to do that. So thanks, Dan, for that suggestion. We're going to work on it. Put something together.
Oh, and Stan's in the South Bay. I don't know that we did it. I don't
I
think we did a very good job.
I know I said Stan South Bay.
I didn't do a very good job of saying where all these individuals are from. Sorry.
Well, there's somewhere within that collection of 620 amazing people. So, all right. Any questions, Mary?
Just one comment from Erica saying we do have deaf and hard of hearing clients in Shasta.
All right,
Thanks,
Shasta, definitely deaf and hard of hearing. I did know that in Shasta. The one I was trying to remember was San Jose. So if someone's from San Jose and knows, I know we have deaf and hard of hearing in Siskiyou as well, and I definitely know in Sacramento, and I did know about Shasta, but anyway, so maybe we'll get your answer about San Jose, but not yet.
Not yet.
All right, well, we'll get you that.
Amanda says in ILS.
In ILS, that's what I thought.
Thanks,
all right, there you go. Thanks, Amanda. Any other questions?
That's it.
That's it. All
Okay,
right.
well, we got 4 more minutes. What do we want to talk about?
I know. This is the look that scares me. This look scares me. You guys don't know. You do not know.
All right, so it's true. So we've been married almost 20 years now, and it is, you get to know tics that people have, and I do have a tic, and he's right. So he's mischievous more, I don't know how to say it. You create disruption on kind of a daily basis. I usually create disruption on an annual basis.
See, you got to think of it this way. I'm like that brother that likes to walk around and poke you in the arm just for fun. It's a small pain, a little irritant, creates a moment, creates a laugh. She doesn't do that. She drives a car into the garage and says, "We're blowing this wall out." She does that once a year. It's a different scale and frequency. Far more frequent, smaller scale. Far less frequent, scaled up. So what is on your mind that my heart is racing right now about?
No, I'm good. I'm good. I was just, I don't know.
You have 5 minutes to kill, and you want to make it special?
Yeah, I was just gonna like, those of you who stuck around the last 5 minutes, what do you want to know?
Well, you kind of already stole the fight of the week idea. So.
Oh, the fight of the week idea.
Okay, so I just I love podcasts. I like listening to people do this sort of stuff. And there was one podcast I listened to. It was a married couple. They were both in media, both in journalism. And everybody would say to them, "It must be really interesting having dinner with you guys, or in your house at dinner, because you're both so smart and educated and informed. You must have really fascinating conversations." So they started doing a podcast, and one element of it was called the fight of the week, where they would basically talk about a fight they had. It usually had nothing to do about politics. It usually had to do with a babysitter or her mother-in-law or whatever it was. But it was actually the most entertaining 6 minutes of the whole show. So I said, maybe we should do fight of the week. More people did enjoy that. And she, of course, doesn't like that idea because that's very exposing and that would make her feel too vulnerable. And I respect that.
Unless it's a fight that you were wrong and I was right. I love those fights.
Right. But see, in this one, I wasn't wrong.
So you say.
Exactly. So anyway, I
was honestly thinking if you wanted to share about something that's changing with USP.
No.
Okay. All right.
Soon. You're gonna let the cake bake before you eat it.
Sometimes it's fun to just spring it out of the oven.
Just throw batter on your face. Yeah.
Molten lava cake.
Hot lava cake. Yeah.
Claudia has a comment.
Oh, Claudia. Hi, Claudia.
Claudia loves to see your different personal opinions that you both have, but also the ability to be respectful and move on like nothing happened.
Thank you. I don't know if y'all hear Mary? Nod if you did.
So a funny.
Thanks, Claudia.
So Claudia said she enjoys that we can have difference of opinion and then move on. So a secret. We'll end with a Hess secret. One time we were talking to our kids about working at Compass, and we were asking them, actually, it was a dinner conversation, what do you want to be when you grow up? And our son said, and our son has a very harmonious, he doesn't like sports because he doesn't like competition.
He only plays video games that are cooperative, like Lego Star Wars, because he likes to, now he plays more mature games because he's 15, but he still likes cooperative games more than competitive games. He doesn't like to make anybody lose.
And so he said, well, I don't know what I want to be when I grow up, but I don't want to work at Compass. And we're like, what? Why? We do really good work. And I mean, I don't need my kids to come and work at Compass. They can do whatever they want. But I was a little surprised. It was so definitive and it was so direct,
he was
which isn't
9 when he said that.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm not gonna work at Compass. And we're like, why, buddy? Why wouldn't you work at Compass? Because I don't want to fight as much as you and Dad do.
I want to fight with my wife the way you and Mom do.
He's like, and we feel so terrible. We're like, we fight that much. And he's like, you guys disagree a lot. And it's all about Compass.
Right.
So we were like, okay. So we actually started having some rules in our house around, and we're not always great at following them, but about if we start to get loud, because we both can be loud when we disagree, that I'll leave their.
We let the kids tell us, could you guys shut up?
Yeah, we actually gave them permission to say, actually their words are, and they tell it to us more than we wish. Hey, you guys aren't speaking very kindly right now. Could you please figure out a way to disagree kindly? And we've heard that a lot. Disagree kindly. So we've worked on it, Claudia. Thank you.
We've never been name calling, you dummy, you jerk. So I mean, even when I was talking about the tinfoil hat wearing Republicans, kidding. Even when I was that was a tease. You know it. Even when I was commenting made that joke calling it the stupid party, I wasn't calling her stupid because I don't think she's stupid. She's incredibly intelligent. And so that notion of her thinking I called her stupid was like, what? I couldn't even do that if I tried. But we've never done that sort of stuff. We don't call each other names. But we're passionate in our opinions, and we're happy to disagree with them. But our kids have the freedom and the invitation to say, could you speak more kindly? You're making us uncomfortable.
But they do it a lot.
They do.
All right.
Oh, not a lot. They do what they
It's
do.
gotten better, but probably because they've gotten tougher. They're older now.
Yeah. Well, and they do. And okay, mom and dad talking work.
All right. On that note, guys, it was good to talk to you. And see you, Kathy and others. And we will be back again next month.
Have a great month. Enjoy the fall. Love y'all.